This video will go over the corruption in the Catholic Church, Martin Luther, and the Protestant Reformation, and then mostly focus on the Catholic Counter-Reformation. So a quick review from class. We discussed what were some problems or corruptions in the Catholic Church, and many of the problems you listed included selling indulgences, which we called sort of tickets to heaven, giving church jobs to family members or selling church positions, having multiple church positions, or buying your way into a church position, priests breaking vows, popes acting more like kings and caring about money and wealth. So again, a number of corruptions that we saw leading to the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther was a German monk who ended up, he was training to be a lawyer, ended up becoming a monk, and then later on a priest. And he witnessed the corruption in the Catholic Church, and he posted the 95 Theses to do something about it, just letting the church know that there were corruptions happening, and it turned out that the Pope was aware of it. And so he was put on trial several times and stood up for his beliefs and ended up creating his own denomination or branch of Christianity, Lutheranism. So he completely separated from the Catholic Church and inspired the Protestant Reformation, which is where other branches of Christianity were formed, including the Calvinist Church, founded by John Calvin. Their major belief was predestination, which was you couldn't do anything to change your fate. God had decided at the beginning of time where if you were going to heaven or hell. And then the other major branch we studied was the Anglican Church or Church of England, which was started because Henry VIII, King of England, wanted a son, and he divorced his wife several times in order to have a son. He also didn't want to share any of his political power with the Pope. So he made himself the head of the Church of England. All right, so again, that's just kind of a brief review of what we were talking about before we started our research project. And then on this slide, we have the map that we were working on. So in class, we talked about this map and how before Martin Luther started the Protestant Reformation, the entire map would be yellow for Catholicism, because pretty much every Christian in Europe was Catholic. And then after the Protestant Reformation, we see that Southern Europe pretty much remained Catholic. Like Spain and Italy are still going to be super Catholic. Lutherans were mostly in northern Germany and Scandinavia. That's the red branch. And then Calvinists, which was green, started in Switzerland, spread to the Netherlands, and ended up in Scotland. And then blue would be the Anglican Church, or Church of England. So again, we talked about predictions, what the Catholic Church would do, and now we're going to talk about what the Catholic Church actually did, how they reacted to the new branches of Christianity. So the Catholic Counter-Reformation starts after about 25 years after Luther first posted his 95 Theses. The Catholic Church decided to have a church council or meeting to clean up the church and to try to stop the spread of Protestant churches. So this meeting was called the Council of Trent. And again, the goal was to stop the spread of all of these new churches and clean up the Catholic Church. So what did the Council of Trent do? The council stated the beliefs of the Catholic Church more clearly. So again, they restated the Catholic Church beliefs. They said that they did not accept the idea of predestination. So they said that people still controlled their fate. It wasn't chosen for them. They didn't like John Calvin's idea. The Catholic Church still believed in all 7 sacraments or ceremonies. So all of the other branches, like Luther, said that there were only 2 sacraments, baptism and Eucharist, or communion. But the Catholic Church said all 7 were still important. And they said that people needed faith, good deeds, and sacraments in order to gain salvation or get into heaven. They said that the Latin Bible was the only official Bible. So remember that Luther wrote the Bible in German. England's eventually going to write the Bible in English. The church reiterated or restated that the Latin Bible was still the only official Bible. And they also said that the Catholic Church, and only the Catholic Church, had the authority to interpret and explain what the Bible meant. So, how did the Council of Trent clean up the Catholic Church corruption? The council said that priests would have to be better educated and trained, and that they needed to spend more time preaching and working with people. They also stopped some of the corruption, like the sale of the indulgences, the sale of church offices, and nepotism, or giving church offices to relatives. So they stopped some of the corruption. And they made it clear that priests and other church officials were expected to keep their vows. Another thing that they did during the Counter-Reformation is they set up new orders of priests and nuns to teach and preach. So the example of this would be the Society of Jesus, or Jesuit order of priests, and they traveled around the world and set up schools and colleges, and they acted as missionaries to spread the Catholic religion to other people on other continents. So we haven't started the Age of Exploration yet, but at this time, the Europeans knew of North and South America. The map on the screen is of Jesuit colleges in North America, in the United States. So you may recognize some of them, especially from the March Madness tournament, RAP. So there's Creighton, Xavier, Marquette, Loyola. So there's a number of Jesuit colleges that were set up to help spread the Catholic faith. Two other things that the church did to stop the spread of Protestant churches. They made a list or index of books that the Catholic Church said Catholics should not read. So it was supposed to prevent people from adopting new ideas. Martin Luther's German Bible was definitely on that list. The church also set up the Inquisition, which was a church court. So it was supposed to find and punish people who had the wrong ideas. So those would be ideas that the Catholic Church did not agree with. There was an Inquisition court in Spain and one in Rome, and both were known to be very cruel. So you can see in this little image, there's a guy hanging from the ceiling by his arms, and his arms are behind his back. And the Inquisition is hoisting him up to the ceiling, and what they'll do is they'll let go of the rope and let him drop and then stop it. So that ends up breaking your collarbone and elbows and arms. But that would be torturing people to get them to confess that they were wrong. So yeah, again, we'll talk about more of this in class next time we meet. So again, just to recap, the goals of the Catholic Church during the Counter-Reformation was to stop the spread of other branches of Christianity and to gain more followers of the Catholic Church. Their methods to achieve these goals included the Council of Trent, or cleaning up Catholic Church corruption, the Society of Jesus, or Jesuit order, the Index or list of banned books, and the Inquisition or church court.